Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I wanted to take a second to I wanted to share something that came to my mind today as I was sort of laying there in meditation. I was thinking about Black people and our role in America, and you know, as we sort of think about, you know, what it means to be a descendant of a slave, what it means to be Black, what it means to make progress, what it means to break out of our cage. I thought I would decompose a few things for you real quick that would allow you to understand the different ways that America uses Black people. As you know, for the last 400 years, we've been talking about reparations and things like that are genuinely owed to Black people for the trillions of dollars that have been taken from Black people in wealth. And what you don't understand, what you really want to remember is that there's over $1 trillion a year being taken from us already, probably more than $1 trillion in all the different ways that we actually pay reparations to white people. We actually give wealth back, right back to them. We actually give resources and income to them. If Black people kept even half of the income that we earn from all the different things that we do, we would actually be one of the richest countries on earth. So never ever let anybody make you think that Black people are poor, because it's just not true. The data does not support that. So let me go through a list of the reasons, and I want you to process this with your family, with your wife, kids, your husband, your friends, your homeboys, your friends on Facebook, everybody else. Process this in terms of all the different ways that white people use Black people, all the different ways that we serve as a tool, as a commodity for other people to build wealth. It doesn't build wealth for us, it builds wealth for them. So it's almost like they are KFC and we are the KFC chickens that are served to the customers that come through the door. The chickens are not empowered by that system. Only the people that own the restaurant are empowered. Here are a few different ways that white people use us. Number one, they have, you know, they need us to attend their schools. Their public schools are garbage. We know their public schools don't educate Black people very well. They don't teach you anything about yourself the way you want, the way you need to learn. Your kids aren't even learning about people like Marcus Garvey, which is an absolute crime against humanity, if you ask me. And despite the fact that these schools are failing, these schools receive lots of money per head for every little Black kid that they miseducate. They get money for that. So they're actually making money destroying your children by putting your kid in front of the white lady in the suburbs. And that's one of the reasons why I've advocated strongly for the support of Black-owned schools started by Black people in Black communities to educate Black children. The second way that you get used is they need you to consume their entertainment. This is another thing they need from you. They need you to believe in they need you to believe in Hollywood, even though we know Hollywood is racist. They need you to sit around and get excited and scream Black excellence every time a Black person gets an Oscar, even though, think about this, you're actually excited about the fact that somebody acknowledged you when they've actually spent all their time disrespecting you. The person, think about this. Think about how dumb a kid at school would look if he is trying to get acknowledgement from the kids that beat him up and take his lunch money and have no respect for him. You would probably tell that kid he needs an injection of self-esteem. So basically they need us to consume their entertainment. We consume their radio, their television, their print media, everything else. And what it does is it waters down and warps our brains, because most urban radio stations are designed to promote music that encourages young Black people to remain as ignorant as possible, so that they can never compete, so they can never ever compete with white people. It goes all the way back to slavery. There were actually laws put in place designed to make sure Black people could not compete. The third way that they need you, the third thing they need you for, is they need you to go deep in debt so you can attend their white universities. So here's what happens. Lots of Black college students who think that they're doing better, who are improving their plight, who are improving the situation for their families, they're kind of being misled. You're being guided down this path toward $50,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt. Some people have more than that. I know people that have $300,000 in student loan debt. And what happens is that what you're doing is you're borrowing a lot of money to overpay for a commodity that does not have the value that they claim for it to have. That degree that you got from that university doesn't give you a job that allows you to even repay all that debt. But the university has pulled in all this money, so they need you to go and apply for these loans so that you can sign on the dotted line and sign away your family's financial future in exchange for them to have heaven on earth, right? That's why the private universities and the for-profit universities kind of come into play, and they charge, you know, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and they say, don't worry about it, just sign on the dotted line. And then you have lots of Black people with degrees who are going to die in debt, lots of Black people without degrees who are going to die in debt. So they need you to attend their universities. They need you to believe in them more than you believe in yourself, because that's what keeps money in their pocket. The next way that they need Black people is they need us to go work for them. They need you to take what is called your human capital. Your human capital is is the thing inside of you that makes you a valuable resource in itself. You know, a lot of people think that you have to grow up and make a lot of money and get rich and all that in order to have wealth, but actually you were born with wealth, and that wealth was actually the wealth that was that comes from your human capital, meaning the 100,000 hours of labor that you contribute to this economy. That's literally worth millions of dollars. And what happens is we end up giving the bulk of that resource away to white people, and we support their businesses because we are trained to believe through integration. Integration taught us this, that our goal, that our status symbol as a black person is to get white people to let you into their school so they can train you to work for their companies, to never work for yourself, to never support your own schools, to never build for your own community. Your goal is to elevate the prices of their homes by trying to move into their neighborhoods, elevating the revenue of their schools by trying to borrow all this money to overpay for tuition, to elevate the status of their public schools that they get the resources from by sending your children to those schools. So that's another area. Another area that white people need us is sports. They need us to play their sports. They need us to overcommit to their sports. They need us to keep feeding millions of black boys into the basketball and football systems so they can go and they can attend these universities and work for free, so the universities can make billions of dollars off them every year. And also, when you think about all these young kids that try to go pro, 99.9% of them never ever make it. And so that 0.1% makes it, and they parade that one guy like everybody can be like him, when really the 99.9% of them are men who could have been great husbands, great fathers, great leaders, but unfortunately many of them don't pan out to become that because they dedicated everything to sports. The next thing that white people need you for is they need your votes. That's why every time the Democrats run for election, they always show up in black churches begging black people for the black vote. They want black people to show up in droves. They tell you that your ancestors died so you could go vote for Hillary Clinton, which isn't true, but that's what we're told to believe, and that's what we force each other to do that. And there's no room for black people to actually come back and say, well, why didn't we get anything out of this? If you ask questions, you're seen as a traitor, and people get mad at you, and they don't even know why they're mad. But it's all really silly, and but they understand the formula. The formula is if we get the black votes, we can get the election, which keeps us in power. That's why politicians fight more for your voting rights than they fight for your economic rights. The next area that they need black people to contribute in is prisons. They need you to keep on letting your kids listen to toxic music that teaches them to murder other black people, to commit crimes, to use drugs, to waste all their money, to disrespect women, to do horrible things to people. There's even music that promotes rape, believe it or not. And they want all these things because then what happens is you spread a culture of criminality amongst young black men, which increases the likelihood of incarceration, especially when they don't have education. If you go to a penitentiary, you do a survey. Most of the guys in there don't have a father. Most of the guys in there can't read or don't have a lot of education. A lot of them, if you've asked them what's your favorite music, they'll say, oh yeah, I like my favorite rappers and blah blah blah. Not that rap music itself does it, but I do think that there is a sinister plan to mass produce entertainment that leads to black people basically throwing away their lives. And I think that they like to see black people, black men especially, acting like monkeys. The next one is, this is really important. They need you to buy their products. They need you to support their businesses. They need you to keep them in business. They need you to keep making them rich. Basically, we contribute probably about $1 trillion a year to the white economy. If we all stop buying from white people, tomorrow their stock prices would drop. The values of their corporations would drop. They wouldn't be able to send their kids to college as quickly, and they wouldn't have as much wealth to pass on to their children. So black people basically, we talk about getting reparations for black people, when the truth of the matter is that we actually pay reparations to white people. So when people talk about reparations, say actually reparations has always been in effect. Reparations have always been paid, but you've been paying reparations to white people. Why are you paying reparations to white people? I have no idea. But hey, that's what you've been doing because you're giving them about $1 trillion a year. So if they sign $1 trillion reparations bill, all they're pretty much going to do is give you back $1 trillion of the 20 or 30 trillion that you've probably already contributed to the white economy, because you're brainwashed to think this way. You're brainwashed to integrate into their system. And when integration is something that only works if you have true power. You're not integrated in an empowered way. You're integrated in a way in which you're commodified. So again, it is like you're being integrated into KFC, but you're not being brought in as an owner of a restaurant. You're being brought in as a chicken. The chickens are not empowered in the KFC system because they're all pretty much being served up and fattened up so people can eat them later. So those are my thoughts I had to share this video. I'm about to get out of here, guys. I'm going to spend some time with family. But also, some of you ask about shirts like that we have, like this, Financially Woke. I think that this video is a great place to start when it comes to wokeness, awareness of what's going on, how these systems work. We have a lot of stuff, a lot of books, a lot of educational materials that you can go check out. Just go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. And also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. Make sure you subscribe, share, have these conversations, because we all need to be financially woke or we're going to end up financially broke. And that's all it is to it. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Peace.